What if the cup of coffee you drink every morning is quietly stealing your strength? Every day I meet men and women over 60 who believe their fatigue, weak legs or fading stamina are just a normal part of aging. But as a doctor who has spent decades studying the biology of strength, I can tell you that belief couldn't be further from the truth. Aging doesn't just happen, it's shaped by the choices you make every single morning. And your coffee, yes, that innocent cup sitting on your kitchen counter, might be the most powerful medicine you've never used correctly. The truth is, after 60, your body loses up to 8% of its muscle every decade, and that slow decline is what steals your energy, your confidence, even your independence. But here's the part most people don't know. By adding just one simple ingredient, that same cup of coffee can help rebuild what time has taken away. Today I'll show you how 8 natural powders can turn your morning habit into a muscle rebuilding, heart supporting, brain boosting ritual. Because the right morning cup doesn't just wake you up, it wakes up your body's ability to live strong again. I've always found it fascinating how something as small as a pinch of spice can rewrite what happens inside the body. Every morning I see patients who start their day with coffee and end it feeling drained. Their hands tremble slightly, their legs feel heavy, and they assume it's age. But it's not just aging, it's unstable blood sugar quietly stealing their energy. Research from the Journal of Diabetes Care shows that after 60, our cells become nearly 30% less responsive to insulin. That means every carb, every sip of sweetened coffee pushes sugar into the bloodstream, but not into the muscles where energy is made. The result? Fatigue, muscle loss, and the afternoon crash everyone blames on getting older. That's where cinnamon steps in. A simple half teaspoon of pure Ceylon cinnamon mixed into your morning cup can increase glucose uptake into muscle by more than 20%. It works like a natural amplifier, smoothing blood sugar swings, improving circulation, and giving your muscles steady fuel all day long. I remember one patient, a retired carpenter in his late 60s, who began this habit. Within 3 weeks, his energy no longer collapsed after lunch. He could climb stairs again without stopping halfway. What surprises most people is that cinnamon isn't just flavour, it's physiology in disguise. It doesn't just make coffee taste better, it turns that coffee into a slow-burn energy source that protects your strength instead of draining it. And while cinnamon stabilizes your energy, another everyday ingredient can open up the highways that carry that energy deeper into your muscles. When I first tell patients to add cocoa to their morning coffee, they often laugh. "You mean hot chocolate, doctor?" they ask. Not quite. I'm talking about unsweetened pure cocoa, the kind rich in flavonols, natural compounds proven to help your blood vessels relax and your muscles breathe again. Most people think of cocoa as a comfort drink, but science paints a much bigger picture. According to a 2023 Harvard study on vascular health, adults over 60 who consumed just 1 tablespoon of cocoa powder a day improved their blood flow by nearly 25% within 2 weeks. That's not marketing, it's measurable biology. As we age, our arteries stiffen, circulation slows, and less oxygen reaches the muscles that keep us balanced and strong. That's why older adults often describe their legs as heavy or slow. Cocoa's flavonols act like nature's tune-up crew, relaxing blood vessels and letting oxygen travel freely. I once worked with a 72-year-old woman who used to give up halfway through her morning walks. After stirring cocoa into her coffee each morning, her stamina began to return, her steps became lighter, her blood pressure stabilized, and for the first time in years she felt awake all day long. When you pair cocoa's circulation boost with coffee's natural caffeine, you create a perfect partnership. Caffeine wakes the brain while cocoa feeds the body's network of blood and muscle. That balance turns an ordinary habit into a performance ritual. But the real secret comes next. An ingredient that fuels your brain and muscles with clean, steady energy, even when your blood sugar drops. It might sound strange to tell someone to put oil in their coffee, but once you understand how your metabolism changes with age, it makes perfect sense. After 60, your cells become less efficient at turning sugar into energy. That's why so many older adults describe their mornings as foggy, their afternoons as draining, and their evenings as wiped out. The truth is, their engines are still strong, they're just running on the wrong kind of fuel. That's where coconut oil and its purified form, MCT oil medium chain triglycerides, come in. Unlike regular fats that take hours to digest, MCTs bypass the slow route, they go straight to the liver where they're converted into ketones, tiny molecules that act as instant clean-burning fuel for both brain and muscle. According to a 2022 study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, older adults who consumed 6 grams of MCT oil daily showed a 20% increase in mental alertness and better physical endurance within 4 weeks. I remember one retired pilot who struggled to stay focused after breakfast. I suggested blending a teaspoon of MCT oil into his morning coffee instead of reaching for another pastry. Within a week, he noticed something remarkable. No mid-morning crash, no shaky hands, no sugar cravings. Over time, his weight began to drop naturally, not because he was dieting, but because his body had finally learned to burn fat for energy again. When I take my first sip of coffee each morning, with a teaspoon of MCT oil, I can feel the steadiness it brings, no spikes, no dips, just clean, sustainable energy. And once your metabolism starts running smoothly, the next step is to make sure your muscles have the building blocks they need to stay strong. That's where something as simple as milk or its plant-based twin changes everything. Most people think milk is for children, but past 60 your muscles crave it more than ever. Every decade after midlife, the body's ability to build muscle drops by nearly 8%, a condition known as sarcopenia. It doesn't happen overnight, it sneaks in quietly. You start noticing it when climbing stairs feels heavier, or when carrying groceries suddenly requires 2 trips instead of 1. I've seen this pattern countless times in my practice, and I always remind my patients that strength isn't lost, it's simply underfed. Protein is the body's raw material for repair, and milk happens to contain one of the best combinations nature ever designed, whey and casein. Together, they feed muscles slowly and steadily, keeping your body in a growth and recovery mode throughout the morning. A half cup of milk or fortified soy milk adds about 5 grams of protein, just enough to wake up your metabolism and support muscle maintenance. One 2021 study from the Journal of Nutrition and Healthy Aging found that seniors who consumed protein early in the day had 40% better muscle synthesis than those who waited until dinner. Timing matters just as much as quantity. I remember a 72-year-old woman who had always taken her coffee black. Her daughter, a nurse, convinced her to add soy milk for a month. At her next checkup, her grip strength improved, her energy levels rose, and her bone density scan showed subtle but real progress. Sometimes the smallest shift changes everything. That's why I call milk and soy milk silent protectors. They don't just make coffee smoother, they make your body more resilient from the inside out. But while protein builds muscle, something else holds the entire system together, like the glue between every joint, tendon and bone. And that's exactly where collagen enters the story. People often think collagen is only about beauty, wrinkles, skin or hair. But as a doctor, I see it differently. Collagen is the body's scaffolding. It holds your muscles, joints and bones in place. After 60, your natural collagen production drops by about 1% every year. Now that might sound small, but over a decade, it's the difference between moving freely and feeling stiff every morning. You might not notice it at first, the creak in your knees, when you stand up, the ache in your back after gardening, but that's collagen quietly disappearing. A 2022 review in Clinical Interventions in Aging showed that adults who took daily collagen peptides experienced a 30% improvement in joint comfort and mobility within 12 weeks. That's because collagen supplies glycine, proline and hydroxyproline, the amino acids your body uses to rebuild connective tissue. When I mix a scoop of collagen powder into my morning coffee, it dissolves completely, leaving no taste, just quiet restoration. I've seen patients who couldn't kneel or squat for years return to gardening, walking and climbing stairs simply because they started replenishing what age had slowly taken away. What I love most about collagen is how seamlessly it works with coffee. The warmth helps it absorb faster, and the caffeine gently increases blood flow, sending those amino acids exactly where they're needed. You don't need pills or injections, just consistency. 1 scoop a day, and within weeks, your body begins to feel oiled again. But collagen is only one half of the muscle story. While it strengthens your structure, your body still needs the spark that tells those muscles to grow. And that's where a powerhouse protein, often mistaken as just a gym supplement, makes its debut in your morning ritual. Whenever I mention whey protein to my older patients, they usually smile politely and say, "That's for bodybuilders, not for people my age." I always shake my head. After 60, it's not about bodybuilding, it's about body keeping. Your muscles aren't just for strength, they protect your joints, stabilize your balance and keep your metabolism alive. Without enough high-quality protein, they quietly shrink, leaving you weaker, slower, and more prone to falls. Here's what the science says. A 2023 report in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who added 20 grams of whey protein each morning increased their lean muscle mass by up to 38% over 12 weeks without changing their exercise routines. Whey protein is rich in leucine, an amino acid that acts like a switch telling your body it's time to build again. Think of it as flipping on the construction lights inside your muscles after a long night of rest. I remember a 67-year-old retired teacher who felt her strength fading. Carrying groceries made her short of breath, and she feared losing her independence. I suggested adding a scoop of unflavoured whey isolate to her morning coffee. Within weeks, her grip strengthened, her balance improved, and for the first time in years she told me she felt solid. It wasn't magic, it was biology finally working in her favour. The beauty of whey is its simplicity. It blends easily into hot coffee without changing the flavour, adds no sugar, and works best when taken first thing in the morning when your muscles are most responsive. By pairing it with caffeine, You enhance nutrient delivery and kickstart protein synthesis precisely when your body needs it. And while whey rebuilds strength, there's another ingredient so small it could slip through your fingers, but it carries a power that supports your heart digestion and even your brain. Tiny, ancient, and often overlooked, it's the seed that brings balance to your entire system. I'll never forget the first time I told a 70-year-old patient to put chia seeds in his coffee. He laughed. "Doctor, those are for smoothies," he said. But a few weeks later, he came back and told me his stomach felt lighter, his energy lasted longer, and he was walking farther than he had in years. Sometimes the most powerful solutions don't come from a lab, they come from nature's smallest designs. Chia seeds are nutritional overachievers. Each tablespoon holds plant-based protein-soluble fiber and omega-3 fatty acids nutrients your body desperately needs after 60. As digestion slows with age, chia's fiber helps regulate blood sugar, prevents the mid-morning crash, and feeds the gut bacteria that keep your immune system sharp. Meanwhile, omega-3s from chia act like natural lubricants, reducing inflammation in the joints and supporting heart rhythm. A 2021 study from the Journal of Nutrition and Metabolism found that adults over 60 who consumed chia 3 times a week experienced a 25% improvement in muscle function and a 30% reduction in inflammatory markers. That's real measurable change from something that costs less than a cup of coffee. To unlock their benefits, I always recommend grinding the seeds first. Whole chia often passes through your system undigested, but when ground, it releases its oils and amino acids completely. Stir 1 to 2 teaspoons into your morning coffee. The heat softens the fiber, creating a smooth texture and a mild, nutty flavour. Over time, that tiny ritual can transform your mornings, steadier energy, calmer digestion, and joints that move without complaint. And just when you think your coffee couldn't possibly do more, there's one final twist: 2 simple spices that turn your daily drink into a natural, anti-aging tonic, protecting your muscles, heart, and mind from the inside out. There's a reason I call turmeric and black pepper the golden finish to this morning ritual. These 2 spices may sit quietly in your kitchen cabinet, but together they hold one of the most powerful combinations in all of natural medicine. Turmeric's active compound curcumin is a master anti-inflammatory. It calms the same processes that stiffen your joints, clog your arteries, and make your muscles ache after even simple activities. Yet on its own, curcumin is poorly absorbed. That's where black pepper steps in. Piperine, its key compound, increases curcumin absorption by nearly 2,000%. One works as the spark, the other as the accelerator. I once treated a 73-year-old gardener who had nearly given up his passion because of relentless knee pain. He began stirring half a teaspoon of turmeric and a pinch of black pepper into his morning coffee. Within a month, he noticed something remarkable. His stiffness faded, his knees bent easily again, and his energy returned. It wasn't a miracle, it was consistency. The warmth of coffee activates the curcumin, and with piperine's help, the anti-inflammatory effects reach deep into the bloodstream. Modern research backs it up. A 2023 study in Nutrients found that daily curcumin intake improved muscle recovery and blood flow in adults over 60, while also reducing oxidative stress by 40%. That's the science of youth in motion, the body healing itself from within. And as I tell my patients, turmeric and black pepper don't just ease pain, they rewrite what aging feels like. When you sip that golden coffee each morning, you're not just drinking for warmth or alertness, you're feeding your body's ability to move freely, to think clearly, and to live without the weight of inflammation. Now, with every ingredient in place, your coffee is no longer just a morning habit. It's a tool, a ritual of renewal that fuels every system from your brain to your bones. And while this cup brings life to your days, there's still one more truth to share. How you end each day matters just as much as how you begin it. Every morning offers a choice to age passively or to take back control of how your body feels. What you put in your cup might seem small, but the truth is these simple changes build up quietly, restoring strength, clarity, and confidence day by day. Coffee doesn't just wake your mind. With the right ingredients, it can wake your life. 8 humble powders: cinnamon, cocoa, coconut, or MCT oil milk, or soy milk, collagen, whey protein, chia seeds, and turmeric with black pepper together form a daily ritual that helps your body fight inflammation, rebuild muscle, and keep your heart young. I've seen what happens when people commit to small habits like this: stronger legs, steadier energy, brighter moods, and a deeper belief that growing older can mean growing better. And I want that for you too. If this message inspired you, don't let it fade. Save this video as a reminder that your health is always within reach. Hit the like button to support more people discovering natural science-backed solutions. Subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the latest health insights. Tell me in the comments, what will you add to your coffee tomorrow morning?